Welcome back to the DAWGCAST, a podcast that showcases the real opinions of two dogs and should be taken very, very seriously. I'm your host, Pat Moore, comedian, podcaster, and guy who needs sauces to dip his pizza crust in, joined as always by my co-host, my number one dog, podcaster, Pomeranian, and guy who stares at you while you eat, Ozzy Oscar the Palm. Now, Oscar, you've become somewhat of a celebrity from this podcast. How does that make you feel?
To be honest, in the immortal words of Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised, but it does feel good to get recognized for my thoughts instead of my looks.
Really? Do you feel like people objectify you or judge you because of your looks?
Totally. I mean, you see the looks I get in the streets. People stop walking and just stare. And look, I get it. I'm beautiful. You want to look at me. But there's a difference between looking and staring. And don't even get me started on people trying to touch me or sneak photos of me.
Well, I mean, can you blame them? I mean, you're super cute, fuzzy, soft, sweet looking. I mean, maybe you should just take it as a compliment.
Of course you wouldn't understand. No one has ever found you attractive. I mean, you're lucky you're funny, honestly. But yes, of course sometimes it is flattering. But when I'm outside, I'm there to shit. And the people staring, it's like, can I just have one moment to myself, please?
Okay, first of all, I am attractive. Okay, I mean, maybe not like conventionally attractive, but like people have found me attractive before, I'll have you know, okay? But I get your point about the violation of privacy. That I can imagine how that would be hard and annoying. But you do also have to admit there are benefits, you know? Like, I mean, people treat you differently. I've seen it.
I don't think people treat me that differently. I'm not given anything just because of my looks.
Oscar, come on. I mean, I've literally seen people stop you in the street to give you a treat. You know? And by the way, you know how when we go to restaurants and they just bring you a bowl of water? That's special treatment. If I go to a restaurant and I want a water, I have to ask for it. And here in Berlin, I got to pay for it too. That's special treatment right there.
Free water? That's your example? That's what makes it worth it or okay when drunk people try to grab at me or touch me?
You're right. That's awful. You know, that's awful that people would try to grab you and touch you without your consent. That is not acceptable. But I want to get back to what you said earlier about how the podcast makes you feel good because it gives people a chance to get to know you and your thoughts and ideas outside of just seeing you for your look.
Yes, exactly. People always say I'm cute, I'm cuddly, but the podcast gives me a voice. It lets me be more than a pretty face. It lets people get to know the real me. I get to share my thoughts and beliefs. Like, just for example, the fact that watching the assassination attempt of Donald Trump really made me think, man, he is a badass patriot. And now I'm a big MAGA guy.
Oh. Well, this is what happens when you give pretty people a voice.
What was that?
Nothing. I was just wondering if you had thought that opinion through at all, or if you were sure you wanted that out there.
Well, what's there to think about? I saw something cool and inspiring, and now I'm saying that it was cool and inspiring. Why wouldn't I want that out there?
Well, maybe people are going to get mad at you for that opinion. I mean, Donald Trump has said and done some pretty terrible stuff.
Mad at me? No one has ever been mad at me. I've shit in someone's bedroom before, and they didn't even get mad at me. One time, Mom caught me chewing on her new pants, and she almost got mad. But then she was like, oh, I can't stay mad at that face. So no, I don't think I need to worry.
True. No one really gets mad at a pretty face, do they?
Hey, I see what you're doing there. It's not pretty person privilege, okay? Just everybody agrees with everything I have to say all the time, always, that's all.
Okay, that's all the time we have for this week's DAWGCAST. A podcast with a normal-looking person who has real opinions and a pretty boy who's stupid.
No way!
As always, I'm your host, comedian, podcaster, and normal-looking guy, Pat Moore, joined by my co-host, pretty boy, Ozzy Oscar the Palm. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.